Dave, what is that on your shirt?
Uh,
It's a lumberjack mermaid.
Oh, okay, that's from your store, right?
No, I got this at some shop in Asbury Park. I felt it spoke to me. Um, I saw myself in it.
Well, when without us seeing the beneath his hat, I thought it was something else entirely. Like
Oh, I
without
see what you mean.
without his
Yeah.
face, I was just trying like,
Yes.
whoa.
Yeah. I see what you're saying now.
That's why I
I'll
asked.
I'm gonna sit upright. You know what? I'm just gonna zip the coat.
Make sure you sit erect, Dave.
What happens when three high school friends reunite during a Trump apocalypse? I'll tell you what happens. They do a podcast, little buddy. You are watching Generation Exile.
All
We're
right.
safe now.
That's
Yes.
right. Now you just
Well,
look like the Unabomber.
Yeah.
This is actually my Halloween costume every year. I put on aviator glasses and a hoodie.
I can appreciate that guy's use of notebooks.
The Unabomber?
He was the one who had they found his sort of stash of very small handwritten notebooks, was he not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's generally not what people talk about with him, is his use of notebooks.
I told you I always like to try to find the good in people, and his use of notebooks is impressive to me. I am someone who now, in late life, started writing down everything in I always have one of these next to me for all purposes of creative work or whatnot.
Keep yourself a
you know,
journal.
my own Ted Kaczynski way. I am writing very copious notes in small. But what was impressive was how much that guy crammed in. He left no paper spot wasted.
Yeah. Ted
It's an MIT
Kaczynski,
education for
right?
you.
Wait,
Yes,
say
Ted
again, Dave?
Kaczynski.
He was a mathematician, so he wasn't a dumb guy by any means.
He went to MIT.
There you go.
I just met a guy from MIT yesterday. He's running for District 4 State Congress.
That's a guy who failed at MIT.
Right. Well, he has a whole story to tell about, I guess, experiencing some anti-Semitism at MIT that kicked him out of his PhD and all this stuff. But he was a nice kid. Have you noticed now at our age, there are people that you meet and encounter that you cannot help but look at them as if they're your like kid's friend age. And it's not because they are, it's because you're old.
Yeah.
So this kid had like a baby face, and I was just like, what? You already finished MIT?
Right.
Like, is that real? I mean,
Yeah.
you're not talking about wearing mittens? You mean the school MIT?
Miss
So-
Eileen's toy time? Is that what
Right. That's what he finished. Right. So, yeah. I had a film screening of one of my docs yesterday out in Suffolk County. I had to drive all the way out there.
Oh, hey. My neck of the
sister-
woods.
My sister was there. That was nice. And my nephew. So it's always nice when there's friendlies in the crowd.
Yeah.
But one woman went pretty bananas at the screening. At the end, everyone asks questions, right? The question and answer period.
Which
She
film
was-
was this for? Headed
This
Home?
was my anti-Semitism film, Blind Spot, about college
the-
anti-Semitism.
All right.
And this woman was Israeli. She was wearing a baseball cap with an Israeli flag. And she was sort of patient and finally got her question. But her question turned into a diatribe of her screaming about how the Quran is all mush. There's nothing sensical in it. How there was no such thing as Palestine when she was growing up. And then, like, how, Muslims are all terrorists. And it was just like, all right, this is not where we're going with this Q&A. and so I had to, then you have to work, Usually I'm just lobbing, softball answers. I've answered these questions a billion times at every screening. Now, what am I
Right.
saying to this crazy woman, yelling?
I
I
have
was like-
responses for her.
Yeah, I mean, remember, I'm the filmmaker of this film that she just watched, so I have to be a little cautious. So I said something to the effect of, well, that's not what we need to do in order to, find peaceful solution to coexist.
Right.
So, that didn't do anything, but at least she stopped talking.
Do you know, I heard a fun conspiracy about the Quran, that all, like, Muhammad and all his cohorts had not yet learned to read or write. So they had to hire Jews to write the Quran for them.
Oh boy.
And that the Jews put in little clues.
Easter eggs?
Yeah, little Easter eggs.
They didn't call them Easter eggs, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be for another 100 years. But
Right.
no, but like, I guess like they misidentify who Miriam is. I think they call her Moses' sister or something in the
Well,
Quran.
she was.
Okay, then the other Miriam, the Purim Miriam. Wasn't there one of those too?
Yep, there's a Miriam in the Purim
Yeah,
story.
so they conflate those two Miriams, and they give them like characteristics of both the Miriams as a way to signal to Jews, like, "Hey, don't buy this bullshit. What they're selling you."
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
So
That's crazy if
Interesting.
true. Crazy if true.
yes, I don't know how anyone could prove that. I think it's just a theory from a guy who was like, no, we're the chosen people. That's our chosen text. This is all nonsense.
I have not read the Quran. Have either of you?
I have not.
No,
I
I
keep hearing, secondhand information on it about what it says, and I have never read it, so
I read a few quatrains. I guess that's what they call them. In a essay that was kind of trying to explain the Quran for laymen. But I am by no means a Quranic scholar, and I couldn't even get through some satanic verses. I found it so boring.
Yeah,
Which would have been adjacent.
I can't get through the Old or the New Testaments. I'm not sitting down to read the Quran either. It's
Yeah. Well, I've inadvertently read the Old Testament just by going to services every week.
Right.
That's what
Just
we do. But
have you ever gone all year long and heard the whole thing start to finish from
not in 1 year. I've never made it to every Shabbos,
Right.
but I've certainly over my years as a human been to all of them.
Right.
And I like a good parsha from the rabbi, when he explains what it means, sort of like the Cliff Notes.
Right.
So I feel like I'm, versed on my book, but like, who's got the time to learn more than just your own book unless you're a religious scholar?
Right. And I don't know much about the Quran. Like I said, what I know is pretty much hearsay and secondhand.
Yeah.
What is your impression of the Quran based on,
I don't do impressions.
I was
none
just going
of
to
us
say that.
having read it?
I felt you making that joke, so I had to jump in.
Oh, Lord, break that fourth wall. See beyond the screen. Do you know what I mean? Break that fourth wall to end this scene. End this scene. End this scene. Once and for all. Break that fourth wall. Oh, Lord, break that fourth wall.
I don't want to come off as racist, and maybe this
No, we will
even
not be
make it-
racist on this because we're not racist guys. We're having an open, frank conversation about an important polemic that the Muslim faith believes is their holy word.
It's a little racist to call it a polemic.
my ignorance right out of the gate.
Back off.
Have not read the Quran, but it seems like a lot of people who are believers and who reference the Quran have I assume, like any major spiritual text, it's largely peaceful and encourages people to do love thy neighbor type stuff, and yet you hear from extremists that the Quran justifies us killing our enemies, those who don't believe are below us and less than.
Yeah.
You're
going to find that in all three
Right.
major
I was going to say,
faiths.
extremists in any of those
Yeah.
are going to, they'll find the Bible verse that works for them.
Right.
I think if you look at the time in which these religions were created, these big three, It was when there was very little science, very little knowledge of the world, and it was a way to organize people in peace and harmony and knowledge. And I
Right.
think those were the what's the word? The inspirations for all these different things.
There are
And
quite,
they're
yeah,
going to be people who find something that says like behead the infidels, or
Right. Or
cut off
kill
the tip
gay
of their
people.
penis at 8 days. Wait,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that stuff. You know, there's like times I've gone to temple and the entire Torah portion is about like something mundane, like, how to build your neighbor's fence or something like that, in a dispute. And it's just like, okay, has to be this many cubits by this many cubits. Okay, I'm with you. All right,
Right.
But like, it's like, this is our holy book where we're talking about, building a fence. And I think it's like what we talked about a few weeks ago. There's like a deeper meaning to these words from gematria, or from the way it is on the page, that you're supposed to draw the deeper meaning when you're kind of getting closer to God. That's what I
Right.
think happens when you study the Torah front, back, center, and probably the same with the Quran. You sort of ascend to a higher understanding of it. But if we're not going to be religious guys and we're just going to like dip a toe in every once in a while, then it's just going to be a bunch of gobbledygook to us and to that lady who freaked out at my screening.
I think you can read it as literature too. I mean, and understand
Sure.
subtext and symbolism and all that, and
Yeah.
pull out your own meanings. But at that point, you're just interpreting.
I mean, the Jewish Torah, it starts off with Genesis, which is kind of a cute story about Adam and Eve. Work your way through Noah. You get through all these great stories. Exodus, of course, is Passover story, which is also a fun story. But there's like a whole book of, the Torah that's called Numbers,
Yeah.
and it's just like no stories, just like less
12, 16,
exciting.
38,
Yeah.
412.
The devoted Muslims who pray 5 times a day and face Mecca and make a pilgrimage to Mecca, Medina every year, and the Hajj and all that stuff, like the stuff that they're kind of at least that I'm aware of, is kind of adjacent to the kind of 10 Commandments type code of ethics and morality and loving your family and believing in God and not taking false idols and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think probably all 3 religions are at the base the same kind of thing, and it's just the
People who twist it for their
yeah,
evil
for their
purposes,
own evil
that
purposes. That's
spoil it for the rest of us.
Because I am a guy of faith. I mean, I don't know if Dave, you're not you're an atheist, I think, right?
I'm an atheist, but I don't know how to explain it. I find the world to be very magical, and I find our whole existence to be fucking crazy that it even happened.
Yeah.
And to me, like in that way of looking at it, there's something spiritual, magical, other. But no,
Yeah.
I don't believe in, a man behind the curtain pulling the strings and
Yeah.
all that.
You mean Frank Morgan?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm very immersed in the Wizard of Oz all of a sudden. So any reference is going to trigger me. Yeah, I'm a man of faith. I believe in God. I pray. I like the holidays both for a cycle reminder of the year, spring or fall, equinox. They're all timed with these changes in the weather. And I like that as a sort of way to guide my life in kind of some way, because life's so complicated. But I'm not an observant Jew to the degree of keeping kosher and observing the Sabbath and all that. So I feel like I kind of write my own religion a little bit by not doing the most, altruistic, pieces of my faith. And I do appreciate, like, Chabad, for example, are the like religious Jews who they're like the torchbearers of our faith. So when I'm, eating lobster and, thumbing my nose at, not turning the electricity off on Saturdays. Those guys are doing it, and I feel like good knowing someone somewhere is doing it. It's just sort of keeping it alive.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't mind like super religious people as long as their shit does not like get in the way of our rights and liberties and that kind of thing.
But it so often does. In fact, the more super religious you get, it seems the more you have a problem with other people not following by your rule book.
Yeah. Well, when you find something that you love, you want to share it with the world,
Right.
Yes,
and
that is a lot of these guys.
Disdain those that don't embrace it.
Yeah.
Those who worship false idols. But,
I just worship Eric Idle, so.
Just don't ask him to put the Ruddles on a streaming platform. Whatever you do.
All right. That's what I've been praying for.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know you would have had my back in that argument with Eric Idle.
Yes.
But what can I say? Mike, are you a man of faith?
I would say, yeah. Yeah, I believe in and love Jesus Christ, and I do pray. I don't go
That
to
is the
church.
first time I've ever heard you say anything like that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We did grace at your house that one time, and it caught
Whoa.
me off guard.
Now.
No. Yeah, no, it just caught me off guard. I wasn't prepared for it. You always struck me as a Pascal's wager kind of guy.
I know exactly
Wait.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You might as well believe, because if you go the atheist route and it turns out you're wrong, you're fucked. You don't get
Is that
into heaven.
Pascal's wager?
Yeah. Yeah, you just it's better to place the bet on God existing than to place the bet on God not existing.
Yeah, that makes
because
sense.
There's all risk and no reward.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you
Yeah.
put
And
the black
if it's
schmutzy on your forehead on Ash Wednesday?
I used to. I haven't in many years, but that used
Oh.
to be a thing in my house growing up, and even at college. Actually, I had a girlfriend who had the ash, and I did this portrait of her with the ash. I thought it was kind of cool, but that was a long time ago.
I need to know one more sentence on what that means. You did a portrait with the ash? Like you drew her with an ash, or you used the ash as charcoal?
No, photography. It happened to be Ash Wednesday, and she had the ash on her head, and I took a picture of her, and it turned out to be kind of a cool portrait.
Tell her to back that ash up.
It begs the question: why do you have that ash on your head? And then it brings up all kinds of other questions.
But what about eating like 7 fish on what is it? Easter or Christmas? I can't remember.
Yeah, the 7 fishes for Christmas.
Do you do that?
We do seafood for Christmas Eve, and then we usually do a nice roast or something for Christmas Day. We do, I think a lot of people kind of work their religion cafeteria style. They take their favorite things from it and say, I'm Jewish, I'm Catholic, I'm Christian, and they don't follow all the strict rules and dogma, and I'm right there because, like I said, I go to church. I was raised Catholic. I don't go to church though, so that's a big no. That's one of the commandments right there. Is you got to keep holy the day of the Lord. And I sort of feel in my heart, I have my dialogue with God through my prayer. And that I sort of feel like the man-made institution of religion has deep flaws, and I don't choose to participate.
Yeah, I think God would be perfectly satisfied with that.
Well, thank you, Dave.
My wife grew up Catholic, right? And she lived in Riverdale in the Bronx, which is a fairly Jewish neighborhood. So being around Jews most of her childhood with a lot of Jewish friends and working at Jewish day camps and stuff, she had like a inclination towards Jews, and I think that's, she led her to me, And I grew up in a house where like in the 80s, conservative Judaism was pretty like harsh on mixed, Jewish marrying out of the faith. Even like
reform.
Yeah, reform was pretty hardcore too. Things were different back then, right? Like, so my parents, they grew up in the Lower East Side in like a tenement, and moved into the suburbs and hit it. So when I brought Michelle to them, they were pretty like, I don't want to say harsh, but I think like my dad asked who's Michelle, my wife, "Are you ready to reject the Easter Bunny?" Like one time when she came to our house, and I was just like, "Oh my Lord, Dad!" That was like,
that was in poor taste, that question.
yeah, that bridge was way too far.
There's not even an Easter Bunny in the Bible.
Right. I mean, it's like, are you ready to stop spinning your dreidel? Like I don't even know what
you
the
cut your little curls off, Jew boy.
Right. Put the gefilte down. You gonna do that? Huh? So I had to talk with my parents about that afterwards. But my wife did convert to Judaism. But when she started dating me, it was like a thing. My parents were pretty heavy about that stuff. No longer is the case.
Yeah. Well, they didn't like the idea of you marrying someone who wasn't Jewish.
They put that on me at a very young age, and I remember having a few near girlfriend mishaps, like a girl I was interested in, and then when it got a little too close to sort of working out, realizing, they're not Jewish, and feeling guilt.
Well,
you're smiling over there.
I just remember like my first few girlfriends, what does that even mean? At the age of 12, 13,
Yeah.
My parents freaking out that they weren't Jewish. And,
yes.
And like, well, it's just one day you'll have to, we need you to grow up and marry. I'm like, I'm 13. Don't worry about it.
Right.
And I remember, when I met, I asked her, what her background was. She's like, like my father's Jewish, but has never observed a day in his life. My mother is Jewish by birth and never observed a day in her life. We had a Christmas tree when I grew up, and I'm like, but they're Jewish? And
you heard exactly what you needed to hear.
Yeah, I'm like, that's all I need.
Right.
Like, yeah.
The Christmas tree is the deal breaker.
Yeah, but that was that was the time when I developed my own term to describe people who were not practicing Jews, but good enough to marry.
Yeah.
Judaism being a matrilineal religion, I now refer to it as being Jewish by vagina.
Okay, that works.
Jewish by
vagina. You're
Nothing
Jewish by
truer.
vagina. You pass through a Jewish vagina, you're automatically Jewish. All Jews consider you Jewish. Even if you don't do a damn thing about it for the rest of your life, they'll consider you Jewish.
Yeah.
So
So my wife Karen is Jewish by that metric, and she's a vaginal Jew. So that means my son's Jewish, and I just think that's funny because as Dave once described, she does celebrate Christmas, so that she's not culturally very Jewish.
No.
So what I was going to say is that my wife's family, celebrates Christmas. So I've been to many a Christmas and an Easter at her family's houses. And the first few were a little like, when you show up and like someone brings a crucifix shaped bread with eggs baked into it. Like,
Ooh.
That's not something I saw at the Newberger household very often. So
Right.
I had to like, get accustomed to these practices and stuff. But at the end of the day, it was just like family getting together for a meal. It's a lot like what we do.
I hope you didn't get cross with her.
Oh.
I realized that was a Greek Orthodox boyfriend who was dating one of her cousins that did that. That's not, her family was like Italian.
Italians don't really do that. That is a
they don't
Greek
bake their eggs
Orthodox,
into the
Orthodox thing. So is the Feast of the Assumption. I went to the Feast of the Assumption with Trent, and we were just standing there looking at each other like, well, I thought you were going to bring the food. No, I didn't bring the food. I thought you were going to bring the food.
Hey, I need to rewind for a second.
Yeah.
Because Michael, you said that Karen is not culturally Jewish.
Right.
And she may not participate in any of things, but that lady's a Jew. I'm sorry.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to
I
be
remember
sorry.
when you first met her.
Yeah.
Was it like 30 years ago now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she just comes across as Jewish. Everything about her is very Jewish. She looks Jewish.
Mm.
So
Okay.
You know, there's just no escaping it.
There you go.
My wife does not.
The other thing I wanted to rewind that about was your wedding was the first time I went to a Catholic church, right? You
My
got
wedding
married
wasn't. No, we got
No.
married at a Lutheran church because my wife was Lutheran, which is a
All right.
subset of Christianity.
Okay.
They
That's
believe
like
in Christ,
pilgrims.
but not the Catholicism. It's different.
I
From
just all right. Well,
Catholicism.
then I take back all the things I said about Catholic churches because it was a Lutheran church that scared the shit out of me. There was like a dying man nailed to a cross up on the wall. It was like 3-dimensional. That's all I stared at the whole ceremony. Like, this is horrifying.
Yeah, that's a constant reminder. Is what it's intended to be.
Felt
Yeah.
like a threat.
It's you know what it is, Dave, for Jews that attend like church and see the sort of symbolism of Jesus on the cross.
Yeah.
It's striking because Catholicism is this very kind of stuffy proper religion where, you know, you think of nuns and priests who can't have sex and you know, everyone is like over Ned Flandersy, you know, polite. So you don't expect to see a dead person hanging on the wall.
Right.
That's just like wait a minute. That's like Roger Corman's religion or something. So it is very striking for Jews, their first church experience. I remember it also. I think I've been to the church for many of Michelle's family's events, you know, baptisms, and I know when you're supposed to, you know, I have to sort of quietly sit in the bench when everyone's kneeling on the little thing, the rail that comes down, because I can't kneel. I mean, I can't, like, there's certain things I can't do just because of my faith, you know, which I think is understood. I don't get online for the wafer, you know, obviously that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a good
curiosity.
choice.
But as a Jew, Jeremy, free food.
I know. Listen, it's a tempting line to get on because I want to try the wafer. I've never had one, but I'm not allowed. And like, there's even like animosity in church about people that get online for that wafer that shouldn't be online, and everyone is sort of in the church knows and like, oh, she shouldn't be on the line for the wafer, you know? Like, there's a bunch of that going on too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I feel like I've told this story before, so cut me off if it's boring and redundant. But we got married at my wife's Lutheran church, and my family, who's entirely Roman Catholic, so we're on the right side of the church, and Karen's family is on the left. And when it comes to take the host, to take communion, nobody on my side got up. My brother Paul happens to be a Eucharistic minister, and he takes his Roman Catholicism pretty seriously. And he told me before the ceremony, listen, just to let you know, I'm not going to take communion today. So I was like, okay, you know, do whatever you want. Like, it's my wedding day. I have other things I'm worried about.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I guess because he and I got up and I took the host, but no one on my side did. I think they kind of followed the cue from the front. And
why?
My other two brothers didn't get up. And then, well, why is because of transubstantiation. The Roman Catholic Church believes that when you take the host, the Eucharist, it is literally the body of Christ. And that transformation is a miracle that happens every time at every Mass. Lutherans and Protestants and others don't. They believe it's symbolic.
Wait, they believe that it's not his body, it's just a symbolic gesture.
Right.
So why can't they take the communion? What's the reason?
Why couldn't you take it and know that it's literal?
Like, symbol.
Well, that's what was so embarrassing for me about it, is just that it was kind of like everyone on my side was rejecting the host. That, you know, is an important part of any Christian service. And because of that fine-tuned point of transubstantiation, that made people on my side not want to get up and take the host, because presumably it's a fake host.
I thought you didn't take the host if you haven't done communion. I mean, confession.
That's also commonly accepted practice. Yeah. Is that you can abstain from taking the host if, you know, you've sinned and you haven't confessed
You should be
yet.
forced to say why you're not taking the host in church? Like,
Yeah.
I want to know.
Like wear a sign.
Yeah,
that
or
says
just like get
blind.
on the line and then stop before the wafer and be like, I didn't go to confession. I can't do this. And then you go sit down so that everyone knows everyone's business. And I feel like the Catholic Church would do something like that. They're, pretty demanding sometimes.
Well, what we do seem to have in common with the Jewish faith is we love to lean on guilt. We love to utilize
Catholic guilt
as a tool to win friends and influence people.
Where does the Opus Dei community fit in the sort of chain of command? Are they Protestant or Catholic?
I do not know.
I do not know. Can I tell you a quick story about
group.
guilt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
So the year is 2001 or so. I am in Baltimore, Maryland on a tech training week for some, I don't know, like I think it was OpenVMS, how to use this operating system, OpenVMS. For whatever reason, this particular area of tech is very attractive to the African American population. So I'm the only white guy in the class. The guy who's teaching the class is also a black guy, also a Baptist preacher. Great teacher, by the way. Awesome teacher.
Of course. I was going to say that must have been one of the best classes you ever took.
Yeah. So at a certain point, he like went off the rails, off topic, and he just started talking about how it sounds like a large leap, but he starts talking about how his grandmother and mother used to beat him as punishment for his
Like a stitch, a switch.
What? Well, that's funny that you say that, because they start going around the room. Every guy like, how'd your mama beat you? How'd your mama beat you? How'd your mama beat you? He gets to me and I say, and there were a couple of switches in there, but he gets to me and he goes, how'd your mama beat you? And I go, guilt. And nobody laughs, and he just goes straight dead face. What's that, like a cat of nine tails?
Hilarious.
That's hilarious.
So the Opus Dei people are the ones like the Da Vinci Code, took them on with their villain. They're like self-flagellating, and I think they're like as evangelical, like to the right of evangelicals.
Self-flagellating. Just because they have a farting problem, Jeremy, doesn't mean you have to pick on them.
Right, but they use the cat of nine tails. That's their instrument. But nothing that I have experienced in Judaism has gone beyond, let's say, a day of fasting in the realm of like self-mutilation, torture, or pain. So I feel like I landed in a comfortable religion.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Well, it definitely suits you.
Yeah, it does, right?
You fit right in.
Yeah. You would make a terrible Baptist.
You think?
A terrible Muslim.
Yeah.
Wait, aren't the Baptists the black churches that like are singing and having a grand old time every Sunday? Because I feel like I could do that.
The black Baptists, yeah, but
Yeah.
the white Baptists.
No, that's a different ball game. I remember I used to go down to New Orleans every year for the Jazz Fest. And for those of you who don't know, it's not just jazz music. They have a gospel tent, they have a jazz tent, a blues tent. There's, pop music there. It's like eclectic and wonderful. But that was my annual pilgrimage. And the best part for me was the gospel tent. This is like a huge white tent that has nonstop gospel acts coming in, and each one is like better than the last, with Hammond organs, flaring, and huge choirs. Like, and the best thing about this sort of black church experience is just when you think they've reached the height of the song, it somehow goes up and you get higher, and it takes you higher and higher. And that used to be Michelle and I's favorite. We would get a thing of beignets, those little powdery donuts, and sit in the gospel tent for like hours.
Dangerously close to taking the host, my friend.
Yeah, I guess. But then, like, I remember coming back and I was working with the Imus show, and he had some this gospel band coming on. I was like, oh, I'm like a new believer of gospel music. I'm gonna love this. But it was like a white gospel act, and
yeah, no.
It was just like, what the fuck? There's no soul. There's no spirit. Like, It's not taking me higher at all. Like, what is this shit? Where's the goddamn, I expect the church scene of the Blues Brothers, you
Yeah.
know, not
No.
whatever these guys are selling. It's
White
like
gospel, they're clapping on the ones and threes. Can't have it.
that. It's what you see on that TV channel that's like in the mid range. It's like the TNS channel or whatever. It's just like women with Tammy Faye looking faces and guys with white guys with bouffants playing shit music. That's just sorry. I didn't like that part of it. But the Black Baptist church music, holy shit. If only a temple would adopt that style of musical performance.
That's what I said to my
Rosh Hashanah.
parents. That night we went to see Rerun at the Upper Room Tabernacle where they had
Yeah.
that huge ass choir and like a big ass band. I remember going home. My parents were like, well, how was your little church trip? And I'm like, it was amazing. And if we had that at Temple Beth Torah, I'd be there every week.
Right. That is absolutely true. I think there's a
Yeah.
movie that Ben Stiller did with Ed Norton where one of them is a rabbi and the other is a priest. And they bring the black choir to the temple for services. It's a funny movie. I think it's called like Keeping the Faith or something like that. Something generic sounding. But yeah, that is a dream. That is a dream that like Kol Nidre is like just, gospeled up to the nth degree.
Man, did you know about the Jewish gospel singer in Jersey? I think his
Is
name's
it like
Josh Nelson. No, it's not a
Okay.
joke.
I was like, what's his name?
No,
Chaim
I
and
heard
Chaim.
about this guy. Dude, he does all our favorite songs like Lecha Dodi and Lador
Uh-huh.
Vador.
Yeah.
But gospel
OTM?
style. Yeah.
Oh, I want to
the
hear
whole-
this.
The whole mishpucha. So
We got links. Can we hear a little bit right now, or too hard?
I will. No, I'll find something. But it's funny because my mom sent me video of her feet from Rosh Hashanah because she didn't want to hold the camera up.
Oh.
And you hear this, but it was just to hear the music. She's like,
Yeah.
you would love this Rosh Hashanah service. And I'm listening to it. And I write back in all caps, is that Josh Nelson? She's like, how do you know his name? And I'm like, there's only one black Jewish gospel singer.
That's awesome. I need to hear this guy like immediately.
Yeah. All right, let me find
It's like
something here.
when the band Fish did a Vinu Malkenu. That was like quite a moment.
Nah.
When you hear a like a high holiday prayer done in like
Yeah.
a funky kind of way. That's just
Yeah.
a great version. Huh.
Here we go. Josh Nelson and the Kosher Gospel Singers. It's him and AI Pack.
Oh, don't go long.
Oh, I love this. All right.
Couldn't
I need
pause it.
this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't stop it until after he hit the rhyme.
I need this in my life. Josh
Yeah.
Nelson.
Josh Nelson and the Kosher Gospel Singers.
Yeah, that's getting written down. I've got to work with a Jewish hip hop guy named Kosha Dills, but no,
I like Kosher Dills.
he's a friend of mine. He just texted me like the other day. He was in one of my films, Heading Home, and that's a baseball movie I did about Israel's baseball team, and he wrote a song about the team. So I shot a music video for the song, replete with like pretty dancers, in baseball outfits, doing the sort of dance behind him, and people mean mugging and all that. I had some chassids that get in a car with him, fake ones, but like it was a fun video. So he's been a friend ever since. But we had him on the rooftop of the screening at the New York JCC, and he was like spitting. Like the guy knows how to like freestyle, like Eminem style, like
Yeah.
amazingly. Like he's
Wow.
got the skills, and he's like buddies
Nah,
with
he's good.
Metas Yahoo, and he does a lot of work with Metas Yahoo. Also, I like that's the like reggae Jewish guy. You know him?
Yeah, I know Matisyahu. I feel like I don't trust him.
Oh.
I feel like his whole Hasidic thing was shtick, and once he got famous, he shed the
He
garment.
bailed. Yeah, I don't know. I can't fault people when I myself is not,
Kosher Dills, love me some Kosher
His
Dills.
name's Rami. He's a great guy. He's like the hardest working dude. Like he used to go to like Sundance, but not because he had a film. He would like stand on the street and just rap hoping that he would get noticed and engage with celebrities, and that I would see him doing that act like on the street rapping at every like major event, Cannes, big film festivals, big,
Wow.
he was everywhere, always working, hardest working man.
Huh.
Anyway, yeah, I'll ask him, see if he wants to come on sometime.
I'm gonna have him spill the dirt on Matisyahu's marketing genius.
Yeah. I know that my kids went to, they went to sleepaway camp and sang that Matisyahu song like always over and over and over again. One day,
So
I think
one
it's called.
day, yeah, that's
Yeah.
his big.
That's a great hit. He's got a good hit
Yeah.
with that.
Oh, he's a great musician. And I saw him at Webster Hall. I want to say 2008 or 2009,
Yeah.
and it was just like me and my buddy Mike, not this Mike, and like several hundred Hasids. Yeah. And forgive me for saying this, but boy, did it smell in there. Well, you know what? It was I think it was a late Saturday night show. So they probably came straight from shul.
Havdalah, straight
yeah.
to Matisyahu.
Yeah. And I don't know, they probably don't shower on the Sabbath. So,
No,
and they
Oh,
wear
yeah.
like 17 layers of heavy black garments. So it's going to stink
dressing
in
like
there.
they're dressing like 18th century European Jews, like with a
Yeah.
strummel and all the
Yeah, the
furry
hat.
coats. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I imagine that must have been a stinky one. Where were we? What were we talking about?
Religion the whole time.
Yeah, we were on a tear, but
Yeah.
let me just jump on because I wanted to get your guys' take on the Pete Hegseth story and what's going on with him.
Yeah.
I heard him the other day talking about how, it was this general, it was his call, and I support it fully.
Yeah.
Is he
But it
trying
wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Admiral, right?
Yeah.
So, what do we think here? It smells like, I don't know, maybe we finally found enough reasons for Trump to get rid of Hegseth. Dare we dream that high?
Yeah, I mean, I can dream that high, but like Trump getting rid of Hegseth is like your oncologist getting rid of one of your 30 tumors, you know?
I think it's more
it's
so for
cold
me.
comfort.
For me, he won't, because even the bad press is good press for Donald Trump. So, people are talking about Hegseth right now and not Trump falling asleep, which he keeps doing.
Right.
And that's good for Trump. But like,
Yeah.
I saw the admiral, came out in defense of the strike today.
Yeah.
Bradley, I think his name is. He said that the drug dealers on the boat were trying to communicate with the cartel and save the, whatever drugs were on the boat, not clinging for dear life on the side of the boat. Now,
How does he know what they were
We have-
communicating about?
yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the footage of the second strike. This guy could be
No.
full of shit. So I don't believe it.
We haven't
We'll
seen
wait and see.
anything really from what's going
No.
on in Venezuela.
if
It's
we
all
s-
a black box.
If
Yeah.
we see the footage, then we'll see how far away they were and that there's no possible way he could know what they were radioing about,
Right.
Assuming they were even radioing.
Well, the signals could be intercepted, so that
One guy
doesn't
quit.
stretch credulity in my book.
That's
One
fair.
guy quit the military over this. The day was the same day as the strike. It was this other,
Yeah.
I don't know his rank, but he, bridged too far to kind of murder people, with a second strike. Hegseth also was involved in that scandal with his signal, where the reporter,
Signal gate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
that just came to like a fever pitch this week also. So it was like a double Hegseth whammy, which
What
makes
happened
me think
what happened with the signal?
I think an IG, what do you call the investigators who, somehow they're like DOJ
Inspector
related.
General.
Inspector
Yeah.
General, thank you. Released a report, said the troops were in harm's way. God forbid the wrong people intercepted the emails signals he was sending to reporters. They would have known where the strike was going to happen, not the boat. We're talking about the Iran strike.
Yeah, this is
And-
back then.
They would have been able to blow our airplanes out of the sky had it fallen in the wrong hands. And this guy was grossly irresponsible for signaling to a reporter and others. he shouldn't be using Signal for top secret classified information.
No. Well, it's been amateur hour with Pete Hegseth ever since he walked in the door, summoning all the generals, to come back home just
he's
to give
handsome.
him a speech. And he's got a great body.
Yeah.
And he does PT every day.
Tough. He does
None of
therapy?
which physical training, but none of which are standard qualifiers for Secretary of Defense or Secretary of War for that matter.
Yeah. Maybe you just got to reevaluate.
SS Secretary of War.
That's right. There was a misspelled name tag, right?
I don't think that was misspelled at all. I think the SS was very much on purpose.
I mean, he does have Nazi tattoos on his body, right? He's got like some. Yeah,
he's got the Iron Cross at least.
This guy's like, as bad as things will get with Hegseth, I think Trump benefits from keeping him in the circus.
Yeah. There's no way Trump's getting rid of him. It's so much, if there's an investigation and he's found guilty, I don't know what happens then, but
Trump
that's the only way he's going. Or, he cheats on his third wife and gets her pregnant with his fourth wife.
Well,
remember,
that's all part and parcel. That's not going to lose him his job.
That's
he was
true.
a weekend Fox News host.
Yeah.
That's his experience. He wasn't even the main Fox News Fox and Friend. He was a weekend filler. Yep. So from that, he became the Secretary of Defense. Just like,
what
did we think was going to happen? What did we think was going to happen?
What a land of opportunity.
But Trump is like really slowing down. I don't know if you guys have, like, even today, there's footage of him
snoozing at the cabinet meeting.
Today was a peace summit with the African leaders that he was falling asleep. He's really in bad shape, I think.
It's fun watching Fox Explain. All the snoozing. Well, he's tired. Hey, he has a 50-hour week. All the decisions he has to make.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, where's Jake Tapper? Jake Tapper wrote a book about Biden being old and infirmed while being in the Oval Office. And today I heard footage of Jake Tapper explaining away Trump's sleeping by saying, oh, well, he is up all night, dealing with
For
things.
real?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. There's two guys right now that have done such a 180 that your head could, you get whiplash. Jake Tapper and Chris Cuomo. Both CNN, guys. One's still on CNN. Like,
Chris Cuomo doesn't surprise me because he's a douchebag.
I mean, he's become a douchebag. I didn't think he was always a douchebag. I kind of liked him.
You don't become a douchebag like that. He was always a douchebag.
6 years of training.
He was good at hiding it, and then the walls came down, and he's like, "What does he got to lose?" Everybody.
I liked
I'm a douchebag.
His interview style on CNN when he was the morning show host for a couple of years, because he was a pit bull and he would go after. He said, "Let's go after it," or whatever his stupid slogan was. But now he's on like some channel, I don't even know what it is, News Nation or something, and he's playing whataboutisms and gotcha stuff with, we're making excuses for really ridiculous stuff, from Trump's falling asleep to Hegseth, blowing up, second striking, you name it. He's like making excuses. And it's like, what happened to you, man? Why are you such a turncoat? Why are you such a Fredo? You used to be on the right side of stuff.
He's smart. He could do things. Not like everybody says.
So here's a funny story. I think I could share this. I have to be careful on how I tell you this. But I told you that I was going to take a job as a director for a high school musical.
Right.
And it's like a side hustle. And I am. Now, because I was a late addition to this high school's choice, the show wasn't licensed yet. So we just got it licensed, which is miracle of miracles, approved. However, until the money, hits the bank, you can't announce it. So like, I'm caught in this kind of middle space now where I can't tell the kids what the show is, and I got to wait for the money to land, but we got to have auditions. So, like, all of a sudden, be careful what you ask for. Now, yes, I am a high school musical director, but caught in, like, the,
Like playing the board game Taboo.
Yeah.
You can't say certain things.
I can't say what the
You can't say Wizard, Dorothy, Tin Man.
I can't even acknowledge that that's what you're talking about. But yes, those are characters in shows. Yeah, I'm impressed with your musical theater knowledge. No, you can say it all you want. I can't.
All right.
But I am enjoying myself, even with the quandary I'm in. It's fun, and I promise, as soon as I'm allowed to talk about this, I will be giving updates on my progress for the next 3 months. It's going to be all about the
your multimedia teasers that you showed me before. I'm sure Dave would love. They're very.
Oh yeah, I'll show you those offline, Dave. I had to make ambiguous imagery to tease that a show is coming without saying what the show is. It's fun. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Hey,
I have a yes. What were you gonna say?
Before you get to your game,
yes.
And while we were quasi on the topic, I sent you guys a text the other day with that snippet about Trump's cabinet meeting. And, and they were talking about Russell. I just learned it's pronounced Vote, not Vought.
Oh,
yeah. The architect of Project 2025.
Yes. Yeah. The architect and the builder, apparently. Because so I read this thing and I was like, okay, this is really catty what they're saying about him for doodling. And my gut reaction was like, I just wanted to like say for everybody out there, it's okay to doodle while you're in a meeting. And for some people you need to doodle to be able to focus on what you're hearing. If you know, it's just how it is. And
it's like a neurodivergent thing, like kind of
is very neurodivergent, but non-neurodivergent.
I don't
people
think it's
benefit
divergent
from it too.
Yeah, I think it's neurotypical.
Well, no, I like neurotypical people do it too. For some neurodivergent people, they have to do it. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
oh shit, my dick shirt. It's getting warm.
Hot over there.
I have no problem with that guy's doodling. It's the dismantling of our democracy that.
Well, see, and this is what bothered me was that they were focused on this doodle and they were being catty about the doodle, and meanwhile, like they're like, oh, he was doodling like trees and mountains and sun. And like, okay, but can we talk about the fact that this is his imaginative world, is this beautiful pastoral idyllic setting of the United States of America, which he is currently fucking destroying.
Right.
Maybe that's a better angle to go about.
Yeah.
Talking about.
There was like a
I don't know. I'm not a journalist.
Bob Ross thing, right?
Yeah, they made a Bob Ross joke, and then there was another one I read where they were like, he did not give us any follow-up comments as to where the doodle was headed or whatever. It was just nonsense. But that like spurred me on to like look more into the guy. And I know who he was. I knew the architect of 2025 thing.
Right.
But he's essentially the president of the United States right now. Did you know this?
Yes.
No.
Who Trump had nothing to do with, but all of a sudden gave him the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah. Well, apparently, if you're the director of the Office of Management and Budget, it's best suited for the type of person who doesn't need to be in the spotlight, but wants to control everything.
Right.
So every executive action goes through that office. So when Elon Musk was running around with his chainsaw cutting things, that's because Russ Vought was telling him to do it.
Yes.
When USAID got all its money cut, Russ Vought did that. When the USIP got its money cut, Russ Vought did that. It just and they're, I don't know. I feel like we need to keep our eye on this guy.
Yeah, he's extremely underfollowed and attended, undercovered in the media.
Yeah.
Not on Mr. Newberger's AI Funnies, he's not. As a matter of fact, I just sent you a musical number I did starring Donald Trump and Russel Vought. If you'd like, we could watch a little bit of that. I think you'll enjoy it.
Let me download this into
my song was called It's Project 2025.
Wrong browser. Hold on.
This was a good song I wrote, but it underperformed. So maybe now is
Keep
its
talking
moment.
while I pull it up.
Now is its moment. Now is when it will do
Yes.
well.
We'll give it another
Generation
burst of sunshine.
Exile. Yeah. This is our moment. Generation
a
Exile, by the way,
second
is
life.
increasing its subscribers, becoming more and more popular.
It
We're
is.
very excited about this.
These
We're
are
on an
undeniable
uptick.
truths.
It's
We're
the
on
number one video podcast called Generation Exile in the country. So
That's true. That's true. And I don't know if you see it over my
It's also the number
Here,
one
show me.
podcast followed by me.
you guys see that?
yeah.
I'm in a room with our podcast sign on the wall.
Yeah.
That's how happy I am about it. But yeah, no, I've been tracking this Russel Vought guy, and I made this here little ditty you're about to watch. I hope you'll enjoy it. Called It's
Thank you.
Project 2025.
Thank you for informing the people.
Shining a
Yeah.
spotlight.
Here
Someone's
we
got
go.
to do it.
If you're red and want dictators instead, why not be led where fascists can thrive?
Nice games.
It's Project 2025. Loyalty tests, centralized
Check out the
power,
gams
one
on
brand
that
is best.
blood.
They'll devour you alive. It's Project 2025. Rights of LGBTQ are vanished. Any kind of birth control.
Hold on, I have to back up for a second.
Spanish.
Did you see
This
something?
guy, this guy second in from the left
Yeah.
looks a lot like Michael Ian Black.
Oh, he does. What's he doing
That's
in
all.
there?
I was like, how did Jeremy get Michael Ian Black? And then I remembered this is AI.
Yeah, well, he retweeted me once, so maybe I got him to do a favor.
All right.
Any kind of birth control is banished for the Spanish. Abortions, even for incest. This ain't
That's
France,
creepy.
we're against, ain't no jive. It's Project 2025. Don't you know it's family first? Values in God, not traps of thirst. Roll back environmental and coal becomes essential. Every day AK-47, one God ours to start repenting. Tariffs on our friends. Free trade with Putin. If you're mad and think all immigrants bad, don't be sad, cause white men are glad to survive. It's Project 2025. Close the UN, say never again. Globalists pretend wars will just end. Swan dive. It's Project 2025. Reshape government with military. Anything that's woke, we will bury. Read our pitch like Newt Gingrich. Push politics that help the rich and thrive. It's Project 2025. It's Project 2025. It's Project 2025. It's Project 2025.
Really hate that sad loser, Mr. Newberger.
Who, me?
Thank you.
That was brilliant. I
Thank
loved
you.
it. I have a question,
Yeah,
a technical question.
sure.
Did you luck out or did you instruct the kick line to only go as high as the Nazi kick? Like a goose step?
No, it was in the prompt.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
that was specifically
Fascist
goose-stepping.
soldiers. Yeah, fascist soldier goose stepping.
That's
Yeah.
that's excellent.
Thank you. That was the whole motif of the thing, was kind of like this jazzy putting on the Ritz with Nazis. But
Yeah.
I was getting putting on the Ritz vibes.
yeah, it's hard not to. I think
It reminded me of
song.
the Epstein video you did, the one that got couple million
2.6
views.
million views. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one did not do that well.
Was
That-
the Epstein video in color or black and white?
Black and white.
Huh.
I
It's
I
just-
think it's timing. Like I mean
guess
that's a better.
Russell
That's a better
Vought doesn't have the
production.
charisma that Epstein does.
Yeah, well, sometimes I don't do things for the, I know like when I'm doing a video, like, oh, this one's for me, you know? Like that one, I wanted to do a video about everything I hated about Project 2025. So that was like, the fun of it was just kind of, putting it all in there, stuffing it in. And then like painting, I'm like, well, they like my black and white jazz videos. Maybe I'll do another black and white jazz video. But it didn't, it didn't spark like the others. I think it's good. I don't know what the fuck people want from me. This is free.
Well,
you just click on it.
You should keep doing what you do for you, and let everyone else figure out how to appreciate it.
I get too much love that I don't really deserve from people just saying, "Hey, man, I love it. Do more." So I'm encouraged. But
so you're blaming your viewers.
Yeah, right. I'm blaming my not viewers because the people watching are good. It's the people not watching that are bad. And it's algorithmically not their fault, my friends. It's the algorithm not showing them my stuff. That's all.
Right.
Because, like, I've said this before. I haven't had, like, a video flop where 2 million people watched it and said, man, that sucked. Like, a flop is when nobody watches.
Right.
Not people watch and think it's bad. Like, we've done some brilliant podcasts that nobody watched. And it's not because they were bad. It's not we shouldn't do what we did then. It's because the timing and the people didn't see it.
Right.
So
yeah. Well, I'm actually gonna kick us off on a game, unless anybody else had something to do